Okay, classic time. This isn't really a classic fly per se, but it's a soft hackle. Everybody loves soft hackles. So this is a pretty basic one, but still very, very hatch matchy. And it's tied on a Firehole 633. This has kind of got a good wire diameter for a soft hackle. It's going to kind of get it down in the column a little bit. And I'm just going to use camel 8/0 thread and just dress the hook. And in true soft hackle form, I'm not going to put a tail on it. And I'm going to use a Nature Spirit wild, what are they called? Stripped wild turkey barred biots. So you can see it's the barred looking natural turkey. Curtis has chewed on this a little bit, it looks like. But this is the calabatus color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie this in. You can see the little notch. Let's see if we can do a biot lesson. If you see the back of this biot, there's a tiny little notch right here. That's the notch that we're talking about. So the top of the feather is darker, and that's the part of the feather that has the little rib. So when I tie this in, I'm going to tie this in notch down. Except for that didn't work. I tie that in notch down. Let's see if you can see. Kind of like that. And then I'm just going to cover up the body and create a little bit of a rib. Not a rib. We're not creating rib, we're creating a taper. I always say the wrong word. And for that I'm going to unwind my thread a little bit to see if that'll help. So there's a tiny bit of taper built into that. From here, is your super glue really dead?
Yeah.
You didn't get another one?
No.
What a noob. We're going to at least put some head cement down on this. So you want to put some glue of some sort under the body. Let's just pretend this is super glue.
There is some right over there.
Yeah?
It's that thin stuff.
No, I have some right here.
Okay.
Alright, so I'm going to take some super glue and put it on the hook. Just a little bit. Where are your fancy biot pliers? Check this out. When I go to Curtis's house, I get to use rich people stuff. So when I pull this biot up, make sure you don't break it on the point of the hook. But I've found that if you use the rotary feature of your vise, you can get it to lay down really nicely. And I'm just going to make every gap. You can see how the small gap between the rib is a little bit, or the back gap between the rib is a little bit more narrow, and I'll gradually get a little bit bigger as I go forward. So just like that. That's a pretty clean little biot. Okay. Won't even break on me. That's good. Okay. So there's a, what do we have here? Some squirrel? Jeez, your vise is a mess. Okay. So we have the biot tied in. That's the tail. And before I wrap the soft hackle on it, I want to create a little bit of a bump of something so that the soft hackle has something to prop up against. So I've just got some squirrel dub that I've mixed some flash with. You can use pretty much any dub that you want. Squirrel's really cool. It's a fun dub to play with. I'm going to make it a little bigger than that. Alright, so we have a little ball of squirrel, And now we've got these really cool Coq de Leon wing, what are they called? The wing pair? Something like that. So it's like two little wings. You can't see it.
Brahma.
Oh, Brahma. Brahma wings. And down at the base, you've got some really nice, smaller sized hackle. So I'm going to find one that matches. I found one. Now you can see that's not a lot of hackle right there. And that's perfect. So, okay, so I've found a hackle. And if you kind of pull some of the fibers 90 degrees from the stem, they should be roughly the length of the body of the fly. You can see that's a pretty good proportion. You could probably go even bigger. That's not in any book, so if I'm offending someone somewhere by saying that incorrectly, that's just fly tying according to Cheech. Nobody else. So I'm going to snugly tie that in, and then I'm going to stick it in hackle pliers. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to gently press on these and roll the feather back and forth with my fingers, and that will pin those fibers to one side. Let's make sure that the feather wraps how we want it. Got a few renegades there. There we go. So, and that's the thing with soft hackles is oh my gosh. Okay.
That's the thing with soft hackles.
It seems like every video I'm making lately has one of those. So I'm just gonna tie that back in. That's the thing with soft hackles, is if you manhandle enough it'll come out, but look how smooth that transition was. With every turn I'm preening those feathers back. And I've trimmed that off, or tied it off, and now you can just pull that to break it. Okay. Jeez, squirrel fibers in there being jerks. Such a nice biot body with a messy head. That's what soft hackles are. Okay, so some people like them even more sparse than that. But what happens if you have a soft hackle like this is in the water it just kind of breathes really nicely. Dang, I broke my thread off too. But fly turned out nice, even with all those screw ups by the rookie tire. Alright, and now true to soft hackle form, I'm going to put a little bit of varnish or hard as whole. If you can see, I put my finger out here, it kind of braces my other hand, so it's hard to do this like I would at my desk. Alright, there you go. Just a little simple biot soft hackle.